Okay, let's take a quick look at a few major key chord progressions using only seventh chords. Uh, so if you haven't gotten the tutorial, the PDF tutorial on seventh chords and major keys, just go to guitarlessons365.com and do a search on chord progressions, and you'll see it there, because this is with the material that I'm going to be using. So when we looked at our keys, we understood that for the seventh chords at least, all the seventh chord types that work in a major key are the one chord in every key. We know there's a chord built off of every tone in the scale. So if we have a C major scale, it's just 7 notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. We have a seventh chord can be built off of each one of those notes. And we just looked at the types of chords it is if it's a major key. And it would be the one chord, which is a C in this case, since C is the first note, is going to be a C major seventh. So a major seventh is always the first seventh chord type in a major key. And then the second tone in scale, which is D, we're going to build a D minor 7 chord off of that, which means a minor seventh is always the second chord in any major key. So the order of those chords went major seventh for the first, the 2 chord is a minor seventh, the 3 chord is a minor seventh, the 4 chord is a major seventh, the 5 chord is a dominant seventh, the 6th chord is a minor 7th, and then the 7th chord is a minor 7 flat 5 chord. So what we're going to do here is just do a simple chord progression. We're going to work on a 1-6-2-5 progression. Obviously you can make these chord progressions anything you want. Just mix and match. Since it's kind of infinite what you can do, I'm just going to use one, and we'll put it through a couple different keys. And remember, we're going to use our cage system chords that we learned on the site. We've gone through every seventh chord type at guitarlessons365.com. So if you do a search on seventh chords, you will find a separate tutorial on every one on how to play each one of those chord types 5 different ways across the neck using the cage sequence. So you might want to review those if you want to follow along. But because of that, I'm going to stay in one area of the neck, around from like the 4th to the 7th or 8th fret, and just try to get all my chords, no matter what key I'm in. All right, so we're going to start in the key of D major. So we're going to do a 1-6-2-5 progression. That means in the key of D major, that's going to be the 1 chord is going to be a D major 7th. The 2 chord, the second chord in the progression is going to be the 6th chord. So 1-6-2-5. So the 6th chord is a B minor 7th chord, and then the 2 chord is an E minor 7th chord. And then the 5 chord is going to be an A dominant 7 chord. So here are those chord shapes. We can do that all right here. I'm trying to look for my closest D here in this area of the neck, and it's going to be on the 5th string. Remember, I have to look on those 3 root note strings, the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Those are the only strings those root notes happen on in the caged chords. And I have this D at the 5th fret. So I'm going to play our major 7th chord form. Actually, we know that as Form A in the 7th chord studies. So that's a D major 7 chord. Then I'm going to go to a minor 7 chord off of the B, because that's the 6th chord. So remember, it's D major 7, then B minor 7th. Is that B minor 7th will be the minor? It will be the 6th chord in the key. Here's a B, and here's that minor 7th shape. You'll see from the cage sequence off of that 6th string. Very popular chord shape, very easy to play. Then we come over to the 2 chord, which is an E minor 7. Well, my closest E, just 1 string over, same fret. And off that 5th string root note, I can use this minor 7 chord shape. So as long as you follow along, you know your cage sequence chord shapes, it's very easy to go, oh yeah, I know that if I have the E on the 5th string, I just have to play this chord form off of it. And then the closest A, well, to the 5th fret right here. We have an A right here, but would have to come up here. I just want to play off this A so we have more of the chord there. And we'll just play the dominant 7th chord, because the dominant 7th chord, no matter what key you're in, unless you're playing blues, which is dominant 7th bass just about off of every scale tone, we have, well, off each 1-4-5 chord at least, we have here in regular tonal major and minor key music, we have the dominant 7th chord only happens on the 5th scale degree. All right, so all together we have this. way you want. All right, so let's do the same chord progression, let's just throw it in a different key. And you'll see that chord progressions, no matter what key you play them in, they always have the same effect. They're going to sound the same, just kind of higher or lower in pitch. So we're going to do a 1, 6, 2, 5 progression using all 7 chords, but this time in E major. So my closest E in this area is the 7th fret, 5th string. So I'm going to use my pinky note there, and I'm going to play that major 7th chord form, the form C chord. I can hit a low E in there if I want, since it's an E chord. All right, then I'm going to go to the 6th chord. Now the 6th chord, think about that. What's the 6th tone in E major? It's C sharp. And we know that it has to be a minor 7th chord type, right? Because that's always the 6th scale degree always has a minor 7th chord built off of it. So here's a C sharp right here on the 5th string, 4th fret, right where we already had our first finger. Just come over to the 5th string and then play the minor 7th chord shape off that form A, minor 7. So we have very soft. You'll have a gig on a cruise ship in no time knowing these chords. All right, then we have the 2 chord. The 2nd tone in E major is F sharp. So we would play an F sharp, and it's got to be a minor 7th chord type. So we need, come over to F sharp, all we got to do is go over one string, same fret, F sharp, and play the minor 7th chord type that works off the 4th string root note. There's only one of them there that we've learned in that K sequence. I'm sorry, what's the minor 7th, not the regular, that was the regular minor, so this is the minor 7th. So we have this. And we're going to end that, in the key of E, we're going to end that with a B dominant 7th chord, that's the 5 chord. So we can build off this B right here, right on the 6th string, and just like we did in the K sequence. So all together. All right. So take these chord types, try to do things in the same area, but really where you play, whether you move around the neck more than that, it should be up to your ear, not your lack of chord knowledge, because you should be able to have any chord type you want within just a fret or two of where you're at. And that's what the goal of those K sequence chords are. But if you feel like you like the sound of moving around, yeah, do it. So just experiment with your chord types. Look at that chord sheet and just go through them and just mix and match and come up with some cool, nice progressions, lay them down, improvise over them, create melodies over them, use them for songwriting or whatever. Mix and match them with the triads, the basic triads that we've already done. So just have fun with it. All right, and the next lesson on this kind of topic, we'll be doing all minor key progressions, which is where it gets really interesting. All right, so I'll see you guys then. Please go to guitarlessons365.com and support the site in any way you can. Thanks. Bye-bye.